everybody. We are out in the Good Day garden with the official worm wrangler. I love the t-shirts that you wear every morning with us. David Whitwam with Whitwam Organics. We're talking about weeds.
Yep, weeds, and why we don't really have any weeds in the garden. Because we have weeds.
Follow us here.
Yeah,
follow us.
Try and follow around. So the term weed in the plant world isn't really an official term, and I was explaining to you before this, it's kind of subjective. So if we were standing in a St. Augustine lawn right now that butted up against our garden, and the St. Augustine grass, which most people would say that's not a weed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If that started creeping into our vegetable garden, it's a weed.
Okay.
And if I'm planting tomato seeds in my vegetable garden and I spill tomato seeds in my St. Augustine grass, now the tomato plants are a weed.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
if you go where you're not supposed to go.
It's something that you don't want there, basically, that you probably didn't plant or intentionally plant. Like the cosmos plants right here, I planted these a long time ago, but they reseeded, and now they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So now the cosmos, which I planted in another part of the garden in another season, has now become a weed.
Oh.
I do want some of it, so I'm going to pull like 90% of it out because I'm going to let some of it flower because they're really pretty flowers. So this one here that I think most people would recognize as a weed is the oxalis. They might see it growing in their yard and it's really a pain. This is its pretty flowers. But this is actually the weed that I'm keeping because it's choking out all the other weeds. So it's not competing with my vegetables. As you can see, everything's lush and green and growing great.
So that good weed is getting rid of the
in my gardens,
weeds, at least here.
In my gardens, I consider it kind of a good weed.
Okay.
So we're going to leave it.
We got to talk tomatoes for a second because we have a question from Good Day viewer Kim in Spring Hill. She says, I planted some tomatoes. The plant produces tomatoes, but before they grow larger, they burst. What is she doing wrong?
So there's two things that can cause the tomatoes to burst. Well, there might be more that I know of. So not enough calcium causes the skins to be tight.
Okay.
And then the other one is just inconsistent watering. So if we're going, you know, even if you're out there watering and then we get these deluge downpours, that could be too much water, causes the tomato to swell too quickly and for it to split. But the main thing is the season's over. So the heavy rains, fungus problems, insect problems, humidity, and heat are what in Florida we consider to be the end of tomato season. If we were up north and it was November, it would be the white cold stuff all over the ground, right?
So what time period is better for her to make?
So I kind of consider the spring tomato season ending somewhere between Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Okay.
There are some cherry tomatoes that will survive. I do know people who do all kinds of songs and dances to extend that season into the summer, but at some point I get that in the same category as somebody up north building a hothouse for their tomatoes over the winter. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just one of the factors that make us count this as the end of the tomato season. So we start again in the fall, and we'll grow until May or June.
All right.
So it's over.
Thanks for answering that question, and I'm sure our viewers have a lot more. If you have a gardening question for David, send it to us. He'll probably answer it. Send the email to gooddaytampabay@fox.com.